In this lesson, we're going to have a look at how we can export our pouch and bring it to ZBrush for further editing. At this point, I would like to recommend that you create a copy of this file. We will start making some modifications that will not allow further simulation. First thing I'm going to do is I'll remove this buckle placeholder. Second, I'm going to convert the geometry to quads. Before the conversion, see if everything has the same resolution. The pouch is at 4. And let's bring this guys at 4 also. Also, let's remove all the sewing. That should give us a cleaner topology. With the Edit Sewing tool, marquee select all the chunks and hit Delete. Use the Transform Pattern tool to select all the beads. Right-click on the pouch and choose Remesh Beta. Okay. Last thing before the export is our UVs. Go to the UV editor mode. Right-click on the canvas and choose Set UV from the pattern alignment. Right-click on the canvas again and choose Fit UV to Unified 0 to 1. That should pack our chunks into 0 to 1 space. Alright, now let's export our OBJ files. We're going to export two OBJ files. A file that holds the pouch and a file that holds the stitches. Go to File, Export, OBJ. I'm going to name it pouch_01_main. And that's going to be our pouch without the stitches. Turn off these. Set to multiple objects and choose thin. There might be a bug where these guys get turned on again. Make sure they're off and only this one is selected. Unified UV coordinates on and our scale is in centimeters. Okay. Let's export the stitches by themselves. Now, since the pouch is going to get some thickness in ZBrush, we need to make sure that the stitch gets a slight offset to compensate for the thickness and stay on top. To do that, we need to display our object in a thick textured surface mode. This is a thin mode. And we need this one. My rendering thickness is set to 2.5. And I think that's the thickness I'm going to go for in ZBrush as well. Go File, Export, OBJ, give it a name. In the pop-up menu, set the settings to Thick, Single Object, Disable all patterns and all avatars. We only want to select all graphics. Unified UV coordinates is on, scale is in centimeters, and hit OK. Alright, let's now load our files in ZBrush. Next, we're going to give some thickness to our pouch. Select your pouch subtool and go to the Geometry tab. Navigate to the panel loops and change the thickness to 0.02. Set polish to 0, turn on regroup loops, set elevation to 0, and hit this Panel Loops button. There we are. Check your model around and make sure the stitches have remained on top. Alright, now we can go ahead, subdivide it and use any of the tools in ZBrush to further refine our pouch. I would typically auto-group it to make the masking of the parts easier. And go ahead and smooth some of these bumpy areas. You might notice that as you're smoothing some shapes, you might lose some volume. To avoid that, you can decrease the intensity of your smooth brush, or you can try using a smooth directional brush. This brush can be accessed through your lightbox. Press the comma key on your keyboard, go to the Brush tab, Smooth folder, and choose this Smooth Directional Brush. The brush will be enabled when you hold Shift, just like the regular smooth brush. Lower the intensity and brush gently along the direction of the wrinkle. There we go. The bumps are smooth, but the overall shape is preserved. Use the Move brush to fix the gaps, like so. Make sure the stitches are sitting nicely on top of the garment. I'm gonna speed up the video and spend some time smoothing some of the unnecessary wrinkles and tweak the silhouette a bit. Alright, that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and add our buckle. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this buckle model, kindly provided by Taikonaut, and it's available on GrabCAD community. Simply append any primitive to your subtool group and import your buckle. Move, rotate, and scale it according to your reference and position it between the straps. Adjust the straps around the buckle and try to avoid intersections as much as possible. Let's check our reference. That's close enough. I'll scale my lower strap vertically and adjust its position. There's a big intersection here. Let's adjust that. At this point, I'm going to merge the pouch and the stitches into one subtool. Make sure both subtools have the same amount of subdivisions. This one has 2, and the stitches have 1, so I'll press Ctrl D to give them a second subdivision. Under the subtools, turn on UV and press Merge Visible. Your merged object should appear up here. Append it as subtool and delete the old pouch and the stitches object. Fix the intersection and tweak the silhouette as much as you need. This is it. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you want to learn some more tips, I have a few more tutorials available on Gumroad, QBrush, Flip Normals, and ArtStation. Feel free to check them out.